It's one thing to go for a ride or hike in the wilderness for the day, it's another to sleep alone under the stars. If, like a lot of us, you're afraid or even hesitant to go on your first solo overnight, watch this video to get you started on the right foot and over that hurdle. Okay, the first thing I need to address is that sleeping in the wild means different things depending on where you live. Wild camping in Canada or the US is very different than wild camping in the UK or even the Philippines. So the first thing we need to do is identify where we live and really figure out what are the real challenges. For example, here in Canada, wildlife is a real concern, but not so much if you reside in the UK, where the one thing that you might be worried about is more other people. And maybe in the Philippines, their main worry would be the weather. After you've identified your chief concern, then let go of everything else. Looking at Canada again, if you're afraid of both wildlife and people, it makes no sense. Your chances of meeting someone else while wild camping in the middle of the forest are slim to none. And yeah, worrying about bear attacks in the UK is not really realistic. With that being said, some people are afraid of wildlife, some people are afraid of others, and some people just don't know what they're afraid of. Knowing what we're afraid of is extremely helpful and it helps us get over things. Second thing I would recommend doing is finding someone with more experience that can tag along on your first overnight. If you can't find someone with more experience, at the very least, make sure your friend is as committed as you are to staying there for the night. Quick caveat, bringing someone on your first trip will not completely prepare you for your first night out alone. There's a big difference between having someone with you on an overnight or doing it alone. Having someone tag along is a good stepping stone, but it's just that. Third tip, preparation. For the first few trips, I would recommend doing it close to home and with gear you've used before. So you've identified what you're afraid of. If it's wildlife, maybe train and educate yourself on safe food storage. If you're in the UK and you're afraid of having people bother you throughout the night, well, then make sure that you pick a spot that's not a party hotspot for 16-year-old on a Saturday night. Knowledge and preparation not only boost your confidence, it also makes it much less likely for you to have to deal with the things you're afraid of in the first place. YouTube is an amazing place to learn skills about wildlife, where you live, and wild camping. So use it. By the way, I've made a few videos on this channel on how to prepare for your first overnight or bikepacking trip. So if this is something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. Now, if you're one that's not afraid about anything specific and it's rather more the experience, then your friend will be practice. There won't be any other way for you to do it. The more you will sleep outside and the more you'll feel confident and at home. Okay, last one we're going to be talking about, and the least pleasant, is that you're going to have to deal with it. The reality is that sleeping outside can be scary. Not because you have a real reason to be scared, but just because it is so foreign. All the noises you will hear while you sleep, you will hear them for the first time. Your senses are either not working enough or working too much. You don't know what to expect. You can't tell the difference between a fox scream and a woman being attacked. All the deers eating mushrooms around your tent will sound menacing and large. And you'll realize just how alive the woods are at night. Eventually you'll have to deal with the fear and commit to your choice. And then one day, in the near future, you'll be over it and maybe even craving it.